Okay, this is Unit 2, Cells and Biochemistry, Lesson 4. It's the last lesson in this unit. And today we're going to talk about passive and active transport. So you should be on page 45 of your note packet, and you should have a diagram that looks like this. Remember the other day we were talking about the cell membrane? We built an edible cell membrane, and we said that the cell membrane determines what enters and leaves the cell. It is semi-permeable, meaning it lets certain things in but blocks other things. It allows nutrients, oxygen, and other usable materials to enter the cell, and then waste must be removed from every cell so that they don't build up and poison the cell. Sometimes this movement requires energy, and other times it doesn't require energy. So we're going to talk about what the difference is. Big thing is passive. Passive means it happens by itself. So this is no energy. That's the most important thing. Is needed to move materials in and out of the cell. One important thing about this is that molecules move from an area of high concentration to low concentration. In order to spread out. Now we're going to come back to this, but let's talk a little bit about active. Well, passive requires no energy. So here, energy is needed. To move molecules in and out of the cell. Or materials, sorry. And what happens here is that molecules move from an area of low concentration to high concentration. It's kind of like trying to put that 12th person in the elevator that's already full. Okay, you're going to need energy to do it. And one other thing that we need to mention about passive is that there's two types. And we're going to talk about both of these. One is diffusion, which is movement of materials, And the other one that you have to know is osmosis, which is movement of water. So we have passive transport, no energy, moving from an area of high concentration to low concentration, and there's two types, diffusion and passive. And then there is active transport, which requires energy, and we're going from an area of low concentration to an area of high concentration. So remember that this is no energy, and we're going from high concentration. Whenever you put anything in square brackets like that, this right here, that is referred to as concentration in science. Usually it's talking about a specific acid or base or salt, but so we're going from high concentration to low concentration. So if this is my semi-permeable membrane, so we'll mark this semi-permeable membrane. And say this is going into the cell, and this is going out. So here we have a low concentration of molecules. So I'll put a little key here. This is going to equal a molecule. And maybe they're nutrient molecules. Nutrient molecule. And then over here I have high concentration. So what happens is, by itself, because it's crowded over here, these molecules, some of them are going to move over here. They're going to go from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration, and to spread out evenly. Okay, let's look at the next one. Osmosis. So this is when we're going from an area of high concentration to low concentration. However, this has to do with movement of water only. So I'm going to draw my cell again. We'll do in, out, high, low. Now, this is just H2O over here, water molecules. And over here, maybe I have salt water, which is NaCl. we have to put aqueous, AQ. And maybe we only have like 2 water molecules. So what happens now is that this is going to go from an area of high concentration to low concentration, and it's water until it spreads out. And this again in the middle is our cell membrane. CM, we'll mark that cell membrane. So we've talked about diffusion and osmosis. They're both movement of materials from an area of high concentration to low concentration, except for osmosis deals with just water. And let's talk about the last type and then we're done. Active transport, we said, uses energy. That's why it's called active. And you're going from an area of low concentration to high concentration. So you're trying to go from where it's not crowded to where it's very crowded. So we'll draw a membrane again. Let's pretend this is high over here and this is low. And let's say these are waste molecules. And they're trying to get moved out of the cell. These are all waste molecules. And then over here, you have a couple of waste molecules. I'll mark these W. So what's going to happen is these particles, this is N, are going to move from low to high across the membrane by the use of energy, because we have to get waste from our cells out of our body. So for an example here, you can put cellular waste. So we have to get the cellular waste out of our cells so then it can be transported through the blood back to the heart and we can exhale it, or it can go through our skin, or we can excrete it. But we have to work and use energy because we're going against the concentration gradient. We're going from low concentration to high concentration. Okay, that's it for our lesson. Don't forget to answer the 4 questions on the very next page, page 47.